talk us through, because this is something we're going to hear a lot about today, and they're calling quite grandly the Edinburgh Reforms.
Yes, the Edinburgh Reforms. This is all about financial markets. Now, before everyone switches off and gets very bored, this is something that the last government, the Truss administration, actually wanted to do, but they were branding it in a slightly different way. This was under the previous Chancellor going to be called the Big Bang 2.0.
Oh.
And we remember back to the Big Bang in 1986, Nigel Lawson's deregulation of the city, soaring the City of London to become the world's premier financial centre, the amount of money that it generated, the tax revenue that it generated too for various services, and we saw the construction of Canary Wharf and all the rest of it. This plan is to try and get some of that same spirit of the 1980s, to peel back some of the regulations that we've seen around the financial services sector in the last 15 or so years in this country, and try and create a sort of new boom when it comes to financial services. At the moment, there's a lot of investment that is turned away from London, but not just London. One of the points about calling this the Edinburgh Reforms is there are other financial services centres in the United Kingdom as well. Financial services centres, particularly where there may be smaller banks and other institutions, which will be particularly benefited by around 30 reforms that the Chancellor will be announcing later today.
So the idea is to make the city a much more welcoming place for any investors or any businesses.
That's right. There are currently some restrictions in sort of the kind of things that can be invested in. There are restrictions in who you can bring in, the time it takes to get people in. And indeed, we've seen already one of the things that has been kept from the Truss administration, that cap on bankers' bonuses that was stopping some of the most talented international players in this sector coming to the United Kingdom to work.
Is he going to
that is
continue?
that they are keeping that lifting of the... Yeah, so...
Lifting it was very unpopular.
It was very unpopular, but it's free. So this isn't something that will cost the taxpayer a penny. And the argument is that, yes, it might sound unpopular in the middle of a cost of living crisis, lifting the cap on these bankers' bonuses. But the argument that the Truss administration certainly made was that the fact that there was this cap meant that bankers' salaries became much, much larger than they otherwise would be, and performance-related pay sort of fell by the wayside. So if you wanted to be a lazy banker, the United Kingdom was the place to be it. Whereas now, if you're without that bankers' bonus cap, you're going to have to be striving to be a higher performer to get that higher pay. That's the argument, and the argument is hopefully that will bring over some of the most talented people from places like Singapore and New York.